Thank you, Dr. Langenberg. Giving the student address to the graduates is Ms. Constance Keem. Ms. Keem is a secondary education English major with a minor in business. She is the past president of the Kappa Delta Pi National Education Honor Society, a member of the Alpha Sigma Lambda Honor Society, is the student representative to the Education Alumni Committee, and is the past student representative to the Teacher Education Executive Board. Ms. Keem is graduating with a 3.95 grade point average. It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Constance Keem. Ms. Keem.
Thank you, Provost Carrot, President Smith, Regent Alton, Chancellor Langenberg, Ms. Vessels, Dr. Blumberg, honored guests, friends, family, and fellow graduates. And to my fellow graduates, congratulations. This is a very solemn occasion. We are in the presence of these dedicated educators, our families, our friends, and our fellow classmates to celebrate with dignity our successful completion of years of toil, dedication, and sacrifice. I try to be serious. I try to be solemn. But the more I do, the more what I want to do is yell and scream and jump around this stage, because what I feel right now is joy. As we sit here, capped and gowned, celebrated by our university, our families and friends, think of the emotions that are foremost in your hearts, and all the happy ones just come bubbling up. Delight, glee, joy. Try as we might, nor should we, deny the sheer joy and happiness that we feel today. And so, my fellow graduates and esteemed visitors, that is what I want to talk about, joy. Considering some of the past joys we've experienced, dwelling on the joy we are experiencing today, and looking to the future to see how we can extend this feeling beyond the Towson Center and Towson State University. Recall the times when the joys of being a student were realized. That first joy of being accepted. You sweated, stewed, fretted, and worried over whether you'd get in. Remember the joy of that acceptance letter? And then the joy of self-discovery. You were accepted. You could learn the material necessary to reach your goal. And scattered like flowers among these milestones of happiness were the little joys that made coming here each day worthwhile. The joy of looking at that biology test you knew you failed, only to find out you got the 4th highest grade in the class. The joy of turning in that English paper you slaved over for 3 weeks. The joy of having an advisor that actually knew what you needed for graduation. The joy of having all your transfer credits accepted, or most of them, or some of them. The joy of friends, of belonging to the English club, of getting into a sorority or a fraternity. The joy of a new relationship, the great joy of taking that last final. Remember the joys of finally becoming upperclassmen? The joy of registering first to get into those mass comm classes that are always full. The joy of being first for permits in education and business classes. The joy of declaring your major and then liking it. The joy of getting a professor that could keep an 8 a.m. class awake. We have experienced the priceless joy of learning. Now, the joys of remembered pleasures are sweet, but today we're filled with the joy of the present, the joy in accomplishment. We share this day's joys with those who are with us. The joyful gratitude we feel for this great institution, the administrators, our professors. The joy of family, parents, spouses, children, that supported us, knowing we were committed to a goal. Thanks, Jim, Gretchen, Greg, Hannah, Chris, Dad, and although you're not here to see this, thanks, Mom. The joy our friends feel for us and that we feel with them. They tolerated all our excuses for being late. Okay, I can meet you after I go to the library and get this one book I need for my marketing report. And then you never showed. They indulged our mood swings based on our current grades and workload. And they smiled resignedly all the times we said, okay, just wait. In January, this will all be over. The joy of knowing that finally you can devote yourself full-time to your job. No more night classes or studying for midterms when you're supposed to be working. Your boss is delighted. The thrill of being able to say today, I did it, when many said you couldn't. The joy of knowing and learning, all of the things you wanted to know and some of the things you didn't. We are experiencing the priceless joy of achievement. But joy is not a fleeting emotion that marks only the major events in our lives. Joy is the personal reward we give ourselves for our accomplishments. We are no longer bound by semesters, credit hours, requirements. Those are behind us. We have attained our goal, and with it, this wonderful feeling of joy. We can and must extend this feeling beyond this room, this hour, this day, by continuing to set and achieve new goals. In the boardroom, the classroom, the laboratory, the studio, the accomplishments of this class can and must shine and spread joy wherever our jobs and our dreams take us. We will experience the priceless joy of contribution. Now let's go get them.
Thank you, Ms. Keene.